What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, right here exclusively on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am the Renegade J.J. Williams, and today I'm going to be discussing from 1988, Hell Comes to Frogtown, starring Rowdy Roddy Piper, Sandahl Bergman, Cec Verrell, William Smith, and Rory Calhoun. Thank you for joining me here today, once again, for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And this one should be a very interesting one. I don't know if any of you guys have seen Hell Comes to Frogtown. I know I mentioned it at the end of yesterday's Stormageddon review, that if you wanted to go to Tubi and watch it before my review, I recommended that you do it. Hopefully some of you guys did. Let's get right into it. Now, our film is set in a post-apocalyptic wasteland where there are very few men and women who are fertile and able to reproduce the population. And this is the result of nuclear wars and fallout that have happened over the recent years. As a result, the government has placed a high priority on those that can still breed the human race. Now, shortly before the movie opens, a group of mutant amphibians have been exiled to the desert by humans. The amphibians capture a group of fertile women and are using them as sex slaves in order to help reproduce the mutant race. Our hero is Sam Hell, and he's a nomadic traveler who wanders the countryside, just roaming from place to place, living on his own means. And he has lost his daughter to the nuclear war that occurred prior to the film. He also has a reputation with hooking up with random women and impregnating them during his rendezvous with them. Well, this puts him on the radar for a group of warrior nurses, and they track him through his trail of pregnant women and capture him. Now, these warrior nurses are the closest thing to a form of government in this particular region of the world. They reveal to Sam that they've tracked him through the trail of pregnant women that he's left behind during his travels. And originally, they had planned to use him to help breed the species with the group of fertile women that the mutants had kidnapped prior to the film opening. Unfortunately, them being kidnapped, now the mission has got to change a little bit. The nurses have tried to rescue the women previously, but every attempt ends up being a failure. So the organization pressures Sam into helping them, serving as sort of a mercenary, tasked to infiltrate the mutant city known as Frogtown and rescue the women. Now, in order to make sure that Sam complies with the warrior nurses and their requests, they outfit him with an electronic codpiece right over the reproductive area. If he attempts to run or if he disobeys, it'll explode. If he gets too far away from it, it'll set off a charge, crippling him for a moment, making him unable to move. Now, aiding him in his mission is one of the warrior nurses, Spangle, who is a government scientist with the controls to the device around Sam's groin, as well as Sentinella. And Sentinella is a military guard who's there to provide muscle and firepower for Sam and Spangle. During their journey to Frogtown, Sam tries to escape because he doesn't know about the powers of the codpiece yet. When he gets too far away from Spangle, she activates the device through her earring tracker, and he receives a shock to the genitals. Well, that's all he needs to know now. Now he doesn't want to get too far away from Spangle for any reason. The first evening, the trio find a nice place and set up a campsite for the evening. And Spangle retreats to her tent. Well, once she does that, Sentinella attempts to seduce Sam. She wants to see for herself if the rumors about him are true. The seduction of Sam is cut short, though, when Spangle emerges from her tent and catches the two starting to get hot and heavy. Spangle returns to her tent, highly visibly upset, almost to a point of jealousy. Now, although she is harsh and cold to Sam in the beginning of her journey, over the course of the journey to Frogtown, Spangle and Sam end up growing closer to one another, and they eventually begin to fall for each other. Spangle tries a couple times to seduce Sam, and Sam just isn't having any part of it. So it's weird that the two would fall after he downplayed everything about Spangle in the first place. That part I had a little bit of an issue with in the storytelling. Maybe he was trying to downplay her in the fact that, she didn't have to go to those distances to attract him. But it was just kind of odd the way he kept shutting her down, and then the two of them ended up falling. In any event, back to the story. When the trio finally reach Frogtown, they are captured. Bull, who's the second in command, tortures Sam and attempts to remove his codpiece in order to study and utilize the technology involved. Spangle is drugged and forced to be a slave for the frog leader, Commander Toady. And Commander Toady makes her dance the dance of the three snakes. Unfortunately for Spangle, the dance is more successful than she had hoped, leaving Commander Toady aroused and at his mercy. Bull is finally able to get the codpiece removed by using a chainsaw. However, if you remember what I said earlier about removing it or trying to escape, etc., the codpiece blows up and kills Bull due to the unauthorized release. Now that the codpiece is no longer a hindrance to Sam, he's able to move freely around the compound. He's able to rescue Spangle and Sentinella, along with the group of fertile women that had been captured, and pledging to help continue to populate the species by breeding with all these fertile women that he had just saved. You know, I got mad love for Roddy Piper. He took this stinker of a movie, the stinker of a script, and at least was charismatic on the screen and captivating to where I didn't lose my focus of the movie. But man, these frogs and the way they're presented is just bad. Like, to think that a couple years earlier had been Howard the Duck, and a couple years later were the rubber-suited Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies. Like, dude, these frogs look like what the Ninja Turtles probably would have looked like if Jim Henson's Creature Shop had not been involved in creating the turtle outfits. Because, man, the suits for these frogs were just horrendous. The mouths barely moved when they spoke. It was just bad. This movie, the only redeeming qualities of this movie, in my opinion, were the performances of Piper, the performance of Sandahl Bergman, who played Spangle, the performance of Cec Verrell, who played Sentinella, and the appearance of Rory Calhoun, who played one of Sam's friends who mines uranium in Frogtown to sell to the frogs. But as far as the rest of the movie, man, this movie was pretty bad. I'm not even gonna lie. I know there's gonna be a bunch of low quality movies. You know, even Stormageddon yesterday, man, I think I gave that one 2.5 stars just because of what it was, what it could be. Again, these movies are all going to be B-rated, cult, popcorn flicks at best. And at their absolute worst, man, they're going to be D-rated Mystery Science Theater 3000 fare that you just kick back and crack on with your friends. Whether you're smoking, drinking, or even completely sober like myself. You know, I'm not a smoker, I'm not a drinker. So to sit through this sober, definitely an experience. When it comes to my rating of Hell Comes to Frogtown, just because of the fact, I'm going to be nice to this one. Not as nice as I was to Stormageddon, but just due to the fact that I feel that Piper was charismatic and Spangle and Sentinella were good in their roles. I'm going to go ahead and give this film 2 out of 5 stars. I really debated about giving this 1.5 stars. I feel like Piper, Bergman, and Verrell did the absolute best they could do with the stuff they were given. And those three turned a lot of chicken shit into chicken salad. It wasn't enough to save the movie by any stretch of the imagination, but I feel that what they did was well enough to give it 2 out of 5 stars. Don't forget to get out there on social media. Get those hashtags trending. Hashtag Casa D18 Studios. Hashtag Renegades Reviews. Hashtag Renegade Returns. And of course, the ever popular hashtag Shenanigans. We interrupt this episode of Renegades Reviews for an important announcement about
merchandising.
Merchandising? What's that?
Merchandising. Come, I'll show you. Merchandising, where the real money's made.
Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network for all the t-shirts you see here from the West Coast professor, Jeff Meacham himself. You can get shirts for the Jeff Meacham Network, Talk Wrestling, as well as the red and gold Meachamania shirts. And while you're there, don't forget to get your shirts of the Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood, the Dads on Wrestling shirt, the Renegade JJ Williams, Statboy Sports Bar, and the hashtag StatboyApproved shirt. Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network and score your shirts today. Don't forget to get out there. Do what the commercial just told you. Go to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network. Get you your shirts for the Jeff Meacham Network and the Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood. Support us. We love you for it and we appreciate it. Tomorrow, we'll be right back, of course, on another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively, as always, right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel. Make sure you tune in because I'm going to be reviewing River of Darkness, starring Kurt Angle, Kevin Nash, Psycho Sid Vicious, and in a very small part, Ray Glacier Lloyd. So make sure you're here tomorrow, right here, for a brand new episode of Renegades Reviews, and check that one out. Thank you for joining me, as always, here. I appreciate it. Leave your thoughts on Hell Comes to Frogtown in the comment box below. I really look forward to seeing what you guys thought about this movie. If you guys give it the credit that I give it, or if you guys just think it's even worse than I think it is. Everybody's allowed their difference of opinion. Leave yours in the comment box below. Thank you for watching. And until tomorrow, I will see you next time.